Good morning, Ocoee region. Tony Miles here, bringing you another segment of Hidden Gems of the Ocoee region. But you know what? This morning we have a little bit of a different show. We still have a gem that we're going to introduce to you, but it's a new gem.
Yeah, it's a brand new gem.
And I have with me Dr. Curlin Dirksen from Lee University, and I also have my girl, Shauna Woods, AmeriCorps Vista of the United Way.
That's correct.
Two of my favorite people.
You're one of our favorite people, too, so thanks for having us.
Well, we're here to talk about this great new initiative, and it's called, are you ready, Adrian? It's called Taste the Nations of Cleveland.
Yes, it is.
See,
There
we
it
got you
is.
up there.
So pretty.
So, tell us about Taste the Nations of Cleveland and how all of this came about.
How it came
Either
about.
one.
All right. Well, I'll let Dr. Durson, you want to start with kind of how the idea started? She was the brain behind it.
Well, my husband and I love to eat out and have special, different kinds of food. And so we noticed around Cleveland that a lot of times a new restaurant will open up, an ethnic restaurant, and then by the time we get there, it's closed.
Yeah.
So I was thinking, what are some ways that we could help the immigrant community get established financially in Cleveland? And so I thought one of the ways would be to let more people know about these establishments, the restaurants and bakeries and grocery stores. And so I just had this really totally half-baked idea, not even half-baked, maybe a third-baked idea. And so I went to Shauna because I was working with her on something else. And so I said, I have this idea. I know it's not developed, but just tell me what you think. So I tossed it out to her, and she took it and ran with it. And so we started meeting, and we had this idea. Originally, we had this idea that we'd have this event where everybody would bring their food, and people would go around and have a taste and get to know the food. But then we started meeting with some of the people from the businesses, and they're like, yeah, well, so suppose nobody buys our food, then we're out money and we don't get anything back from it. And so we kept trying to think, well, how can we do this so it won't cost them anything? We don't want them to risk anything by being part of it. And also they were saying, we really don't have time to leave the business and go someplace. So if it's not during a mealtime, no one will come. If it is during a mealtime, then we not only risk the food that we're bringing, but we also have to close down.
Right.
So we're losing our normal business. So we thought, okay, that will never work. So we kept tossing ideas around and honestly getting more and more people at the table. And so we finally came up with this idea, and it was just, to me, it was just brilliant. I mean, I just wanted to have some fun food to eat from time to time. and then this whole thing just really, really came together in a way that just made me happy to be a citizen of Cleveland. Everybody just got on board with it. It was so exciting.
And what I love about it, just the environment lately about immigrants.
Yeah.
And so this is another way that because, almost everybody in America
we came from somewhere.
came from somewhere.
That's right.
So this is just another way to just really put to say, we're glad you're here.
Exactly. And we want
we
this
love
to work
you,
for you.
and we want to support you.
Yeah.
And so how can we do that? So I love this. Now, who's all involved?
Who else involved? So we have a huge group, and that's been, like she mentioned, that's been so much fun and really brought a lot of the ideas together, because we'd say, well, what about this? And then someone was like, well, we could do this. Well, what if we reached out to this person? And it's like, oh, okay, well, I didn't know what was going to come of that, but it was great. So we have the Cleveland Bradley Chamber of Commerce, the Cleveland Daily Banner, members of Lee University, the Small Business Development Centers, United Way of the Ocoee Region,
Yes.
Vive Immigrant and Refugee Services, White Oak Advertising and Public Relations, and the Museum Center at 5 Points as well, and then, of course, the local businesses that we're partnering with. So it's been so much fun to get to know them and get to kind of build a community around this, and just to see how it's working into some stuff that they're already doing as well.
Well, the kickoff is actually going to be Monday.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it's this Monday. this Monday at 2 o'clock at the Cleveland Bradley Chamber of Commerce. So we'll have a little time there. A few of the businesses will be able to come and even bring some samples of their food that they're graciously bringing. And then we'll have a time to kind of explain more of the details about the initiative, and then hear kind of, again, the idea behind it, and get to hear from a few of our businesses as well.
Okay. And so also there's a passport.
There's a passport.
Okay, let's not forget
It's
this.
so pretty.
I love passports. I really
Me too.
do. I
It's
really
so
do.
much fun. Yeah, so this was designed for us by White Oak Advertising and Public Relations, and they did an incredible job. We're so
Barry and
excited
Kim,
to get
isn't
them.
it?
That's Barry and Kim.
I love
They've been
both of
awesome.
them.
Yeah, they've been awesome. So yeah, so this is a big part of the initiative, and it's kind of two sides. So weekly, starting the week of Monday the 19th, the Cleveland Daily Banner is going to be releasing articles featuring the different businesses who are a part of Taste the Nations of Cleveland. And then the other side of this is we have our passport here with all the businesses and a little place that says stamp here. And community members can get a passport from the chamber, from United Way, or from any of the businesses in the passport. And if they visit all of them and get the stamp, then they can be put into a drawing for one of 3 gift baskets worth over $150 of goods. So we're excited. I think it's a
this is
win-win.
Awesome.
I think
This
it's a
is
win all
really
around.
Awesome. Can you mention some of them?
Some of the businesses?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on, let's
All right, well,
let's
here we
promote,
go.
Let's promote while
Yeah.
we got the time. Come on.
Okay, Alvaro's Market. So this is a
Yes.
grocery store. They also have a restaurant area of
Yes.
food that you can get. It's delicious. Burrito Express. Family True Food is a Jamaican restaurant here in
Yes.
Cleveland. Gamelli's Pizzeria. Imperial Bakery and Cafe. We were just talking about how we love their
Great.
pastries.
Come on, we
You
all
can't walk
do.
in there without having a pastry or 2 or
I'm
3.
going there on the way home.
Yeah, it's gonna make me stop
Yeah,
before
that's
I go. Yes.
Just a Bakery, which we
Yeah, and
also
come
love.
on,
Yeah, and
yeah.
we'll have some samples on Monday too. We're excited to
Yeah.
have them. Los Dos Aces, a little grocery store. They've got a lot of cool finds there. And then El Magoy and Taqueria El Magoy. These are owned by the same lady in different locations, so we're
Yes.
excited to get to highlight those. And then Nella's Tacos. And when they have an ice cream parlor in there too, which I haven't gotten to try yet, which
Oh.
I will be
It's really
doing as
good.
part of this. I'm
Dr.
gonna have my
Dirksen
passport.
said-
Dr. Dirksen approved, so we're all gonna go. And then the last one is Rico Della Cake, and she's
Come
been so
on.
helpful with this planning too. So
Okay.
we're excited to get to see some of her cakes that she does.
Dr. Dirksen, I really want to come back to you because this is a phenomenal idea. And I've had the pleasure in the last couple of weeks to get to know you a little bit better because we're serving on another United Way initiative,
Yes.
Build the Bridge. I'm going to go on and say
Go
it.
ahead.
Build the bridge that, we are, a group of us, a small group of us, are really looking at race relations here in Cleveland, Tennessee. And I think this falls right into what we're doing, because I think sometimes we don't expand our horizon and we don't explore for whatever the reasons may be. And I'm not trying to say it has anything to do with race, but I just love the fact that it hit your heart that, it takes all of us to ensure that everyone is successful
Yep.
in what they're doing. And I know here in Cleveland, people love to eat.
Exactly.
That's
And
true.
people love to go out because my mom just moved here and she's like, oh my God, where do these people ever eat at home? But let me get back to that. But I really want you to go ahead and just share your heart a little bit more, you and your husband's heart a little bit more, of why you think this is very important and why the community should really take the time. And we know this is an odd hour, Monday the 19th at 2 p.m., but it's really worth them coming out because it's bigger than just tasting food.
Yeah, definitely. Cleveland hasn't always been a real heterogeneous community. When I first came here, there were almost no immigrants in this part of the country. But I think it's really wonderful that we now have this big kind of melting pot right here in
Yes,
our own community.
yes.
And they have so much to offer. We had some really great friends who opened a Colombian restaurant, and it just was so wonderful. It was like going to their home.
Yes.
And he would play the guitar, but they just didn't. They didn't know how to advertise. They didn't have a lot of money for advertising, and people who had their same background knew they were there, but most people didn't ever find their way. And I think a lot of us are hesitant to just, well, there's a new restaurant, just walk in without having any, you don't know what the food's going to be like, and you don't know. So these places just close, and then it's a big financial loss to the people who've come here and tried to start something and contribute to the community.
Yes.
But I don't think it's because of a resistance from the public. I think it's just
They don't know.
I don't think of it. I don't
Yeah.
think of it. Well, let's drive around this neighborhood and see if we find anything interesting place to eat. So we thought if there's a way that the larger community could become aware of this, it'll be to their benefit because the food is wonderful and you got so much more variety than we think we have.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we just thought, it would help them as well as be
Yeah.
really good for us. I mean, it's not charity, it's business.
Nope. Yeah.
So, it has dignity and it's a way of honoring what these people bring to the community.
Yeah.
And a great place to start is food.
Oh, come on. That's fellowship.
That's
right.
fellowship.
But,
Yeah,
I
it
just
is.
always, me, I'll bring it back biblical. They were always sitting at the table and feasting and breaking bread.
Right.
And that is where you build relationships and because you're able to fellowship and break bread. And so I'm really excited
Yeah,
about this.
I'm excited too. And like you mentioned earlier, it's kind of part of a bigger part of what United Way is trying to do as a
Yes.
whole, and looking at ways to engage the international population and break down barriers and be a bridge. And so we're excited. We're excited for that, and also excited for what it can do potentially for the businesses long term, what you mentioned. And we want to connect them to things like the small business development centers and the chamber and what they have to offer. And actually some Lee University classes are going to be helping them develop marketing. And so we're just excited for all the community coming in and getting to kind of take part in it together.
And this is what's so great. I really am, because all my life I've been told that small businesses are the foundation of our country.
Yeah.
And that's still true today. And so when they're not successful, the bigger picture is it can hurt our local economy, our national economy. So we really need to get out and support
Yes.
small
Local
businesses, all of them. But in particular, I really love this initiative. And what I love, I keep thinking, keep hitting my head, the city of spirit.
Yeah.
And that's what Cleveland's all about. So when I think about that, and I think about the 360 some churches in this community,
That's right.
of course I think of the spirit of our Father God, and this is, to me, is what He would love for us to be doing.
Absolutely.
Because we are building a bridge for all of us that are in this community now, and all of us that make up the city of spirit in Cleveland, Tennessee. So I
Yes.
really love this.
Me too. And of course, we weren't able to include all the businesses. I wish we could. I wish this were like 10 pages long.
I know.
But hopefully, we really hope that it'll open up doors for that in the future too, and encourage people, like you said, to walk in and try new
Yeah,
places.
just try it.
Well, this is the beginning.
Yes. This is the
And
beginning.
so why don't you sort of tell the schedule and then also talk about what's going to happen at the Museum Center.
Yeah. Okay, I'll
Okay.
talk about that. So on March 19th, like we mentioned, we're going to kick off. So this means, bring everyone together, hopefully get to talk about the initiative, what it means, and what details of what that'll look like. And then people can pick up a passport there, but you don't have to be in attendance of the kickoff to participate. So important.
Very important.
Community members can stop by United Way of the Ocoee region starting on the 19th, or the Cleveland Bradley Chamber of Commerce, or look at or stop by any of the businesses and pick up a passport there. And we have a list of all those businesses and their location on our Facebook page, which is Taste the Nations of Cleveland TN. So check us out on there.
Say it one more time.
Taste the Nations of Cleveland, TN. So
Yes.
you can find us on there, and we'll be posting updates and, again, try to keep all the details of all the businesses and hours and everything like that on there. And then, so these will be weekly articles from the Cleveland Daily Banner.
Yes.
So as long as those articles are going, we'll be doing the passport. And so the last article will be on May 28th. But our ending celebration event will be on May 21st at the Museum Center.
Oh, that's gonna be great.
So we're excited to do that, and we'll have more details about time and everything for that out soon. So, but yeah, we're excited.
I want to thank both of you for coming out today and being part of Hidden Gems of the Ocoee region. And Dr. Dirksen, I'm going to give you the last word.
Okay.
Okay, so I want you to look into that camera and invite the community
I will do
to Taste the Nation of Cleveland.
Okay, we have personally sampled the food from all of these businesses, and I would say that it will not be a sacrifice to go to any one of these places for a meal or pastries or whatever they have to offer. They're wonderful establishments, and we're very excited about having a wider range of Clevelanders visit them.
Okay, well, thank you again.
Thank you
Thanks
so
to
much,
both
Tony.
Of you. Hey, Ocoee region, that's our show for today. Aren't you excited? I know I am. I've already registered, so I will be there Monday, March 19th at 2 p.m., and I am going to taste all the food, but most importantly, I'm going to fellowship and get to know our neighbors who happen to have talents of delivering great food for our taste buds. So I'm going. So I hope you join me there. And again, thank you for joining me today. God bless.